back to Cooking with Keith. I'm Chef Keith. Today we're going to be doing a seemingly complex dish that is a sure crowd pleaser, and it's called Tournedos Rossini. It's made with a filet of beef, seared foie gras on a bread crouton with a Madeira veal truffle sauce. Now you're not going to think this is super easy, but I'm going to break it down for you so you can see that it is approachable, it is doable. All you have to do is get a few key ingredients. You're obviously going to need some truffles. These are summer truffles from Italy that are in season now. We're just about a month before the winter truffles and autumn truffles come in from France and Italy and Spain. And then you need some good veal stock. You can buy that from some suppliers such as D'Artagnan, or we make ours in-house in here at Valeria. And you need some Madeira. And you need a good quality foie gras. We have a duck foie gras lobe at 2 ounces, and we have a 6-ounce portion of Australian grass-fed filet. So this is a rich dish. The filet is 100% grass-fed and finished. We also get this and the foie gras from D'Artagnan, and retail customers can also order from D'Artagnan online. I think it's one of the best meat suppliers in America. A little history about this. This was actually made for the composer Rossini back in the late 1700s, the 18th century. So it was supposedly made by Antoine Carême, and born in Paris and became a very famous chef, probably they say one of the first celebrity chefs without having mass media, but he was very famous back in the day. And evidently he made this in honor of Rossini. So it has a nice history, and it looks, like I said, it looks complex, but when you break it down into its individual parts, it's actually pretty doable. I'm going to show you how. Let's get going. We're going to start with our sauce. So first we're going to just start dicing our shallot, and for one portion you just need like half of this. So we're going to just finely dice it, and honestly we probably just need about 1 tablespoon. So we're just going to finely dice this part here. So now that we've chopped our shallots, we'll start our sauce by turning on our pan on medium heat, and we'll just put a knob of butter in there, 2/3 of a tablespoon, not very much, and we'll get our shallots immediately in there and kind of let it sweat. We'll turn the heat down to low. We don't want it to get dark at all. We don't want it to color. We just want it to kind of start sweating. My little whisk here, we'll turn these around. You just want to get it kind of soft for just 30 seconds, since this is kind of a smaller portion. It won't take a long time. So now that we're there, we're going to put a little Madeira in. We'll turn the heat up just a touch, and we'll throw that in. Let that catch on fire, let it reduce a little bit, burn off some of the alcohol. And now that it's getting down to kind of a little bit of a syrupy consistency, we're going to go ahead and add our veal stock. So this is going to be about, it's not as rich or as thick as a demi-glace. It's maybe about halfway to a demi-glace. So we're going to add about 2/3 of a cup maybe. And we'll just let that slowly reduce while we do the rest of the dish. So I'm going to turn that to a different burner, and we'll just let it slowly simmer and let the heat and the thyme do its job while we prepare the rest. So we'll switch pans. We'll put this over here and let that start heating up on a little bit of a high heat, and then we'll lower it before we do our foie gras. So this is a cast iron skillet. It's a great medium to cook the foie gras in. It's going to give a lot of heat retention, and it won't, like a thin metal pan sometimes will kind of not do the best job on a foie gras or a piece of steak. So we're going to get that nice and hot. This is simmering away, as you can see. We're just going to reduce that down to about 2 to 3 tablespoons, and that'll be sufficient for one order. There's a secret to this. We're going to be using the foie gras fat to do a crouton. And so we're going to actually cut that crouton out, since we have a little time to wait for this pan to warm up. And we're going to use a little circle mold. It's about the size of the steak. And we're going to take that crouton out, and we can save this for breadcrumbs or whatnot. And now we have our crouton, and we have it ready for our foie gras. I would say this pan is getting there, so we're going to go ahead and turn down just a little bit. And we're going to season our foie gras with a little salt, a little pepper. We'll turn it over, do the same, a little more salt, And we will get that in the pan. No flour, no oil in the pan. It'll create plenty on its own. And there it goes. And it'll take about 1.5 to 2 minutes on each side. We have to turn our hood on now because we have a lot of fumes coming up, so we want to make sure. We're trying to keep it off for the video, but we have to use it when we really need to use it right now. And a secret to the foie gras seasoning is a lot of the seasoning is going to come off when it's sloughing the fat out. So you'll have to probably re-season just a touch right before you serve it. So I would say we've been about a minute, 10 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and give that a look. That's a good time to turn it. It's crusty on the outside, but still tender underneath. And we're going to just let that go about another 45 seconds. I'm going to turn the heat down just a touch more. About this stage, I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch more salt on the top. Just a little bit. That'll be on top, so it won't really slough away too much. So now that we're getting there, we've turned the heat down just a little bit. And it's rendering a lot of fat, as you can see. It's got about 2 tablespoons there. So now we're going to go ahead and let it rest. And we're going to turn that down even a little bit more and put our crouton in. And now that it's in there for about a minute, we'll turn it over. And that's getting nice and brown and toasty. Let's go about 30 seconds more on this side. It's on extremely low heat right now, so it doesn't scorch. And that's good. It's nice and toasty, a little tender still, so it'll absorb the sauce nicely. And now we'll switch pans. And now that we have our new pan hot, we're going to go ahead and season our steak. So we have our salt. Go ahead and put that on. Put a little ground pepper. Both sides. And we're just, on this one we're going to put just a touch of avocado oil. And we'll get that in there. Let the oil get hot. You can see it's already getting hot. Now we'll put on the hood. And here we go. We're going to lay it in gently. And we're going to turn it back up to about medium heat. And we're just going to watch that. And we're not going to move it. We're not going to touch it. We're just going to let it do its thing. And so we're going to let this cook for about 2 minutes without touching it. We're just going to let it get nice and crusty on the bottom. And I personally like my steaks to be rare to medium rare, so we're going to let this just, we're not going to do the oven treatment at 500 degrees. We're just going to sear it on each side and let it rest. It's been about 2 minutes. We're going to take a peek. It's looking good. It's not too dark, not too light. So now we'll go ahead and give it a nice turn. See, it's got that nice caramelization, the crustiness there, it's nice. And so we'll simply let this go another 2.5 minutes or so, and then we'll just turn the fire off, and we'll let it actually rest for about 4 minutes. And then we'll finish up the dish and show you actually how easy it is. Our sauce is doing well. I'll show it to you. It's nice and glistening and thicker now. And that's just about where we need it, so it's in perfect timing with the steak. Do a little turn on the side for a second. You can see through there it's still real rare. Maybe a little too rare, so we're going to let it keep going another 1.5 minutes or so. And unlike a lot of chefs, for this dish, I'm not going to flood it with butter and thyme and garlic and herbs. I don't want all that extra nuances getting on the meat flavor. I want to keep it almost like a pure meat, just seasoning, salt and pepper, because we have the richness of the foie gras and we have this lovely Madeira veal sauce. And we want those three components to all work together with the crouton underneath. And I don't really want a lot of different flavors going on. I want to keep it about the purity of the ingredients. So you can taste the truffle on top, followed by the lovely Madeira veal sauce, then the foie, and then lastly the steak on top of the crouton. Is a great, great, great combination. And it just doesn't need the rosemary or the thyme or the garlic or the butter. Turn that one more time, and I'm going to turn the fire off now. We're just going to let it rest for about 4 to 5 minutes. And I'm going to check the seasoning on the sauce. And actually, I'm just going to put a little ground white pepper. It has enough salt. It has enough salinity from the actual veal, I suppose, because we don't add salt to the veal stock, but in reducing it so much, what sodium is available in the veal stock itself gets accentuated. So we're always tasting. This is just a little too thick, so I'm just putting another 2 teaspoons or so of stock. And it'll be probably perfect by the time the steak is rested. So we're going to get our plate ready for plating. Now we can turn our hood off, which is lovely, so you can hear me, and I can hear myself. And so that's just a great, and one of the good things about this is you don't have to wait completely for it to rest. We've let it rest maybe a minute and a half or so now, but you could start actually plating it because it's going to rest on top of the crouton. Any juices that come out will just go on the crouton. And we're not cutting it yet, so there's, even if you, the danger about not letting it rest is when you cut into it, it starts bleeding. But we're simply going to be plating it. So now we're just going to actually just start the process of plating. Put it right on top and make sure it's centered and not going to fall off. And now we'll get our foie gras in this still hot pan, and I'm just going to put it in for about, you can hear a slight sizzle. I'm just going to put it in for 10 seconds on each side just to make sure it's nice and warm again. Just give it a little warm up. I think it was nice and warm. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to touch it. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice and warm still. So we're going to put it lengthwise on there so it doesn't fall off. And now the fun part, we're going to sauce it. And then we're going to top it with our truffles from Italy, our shaved truffles, and it's going to be a beautiful dish. So let them mix everything together and just get it blow off. I like a nice amount of sauce on my steak, so I'm going to go ahead and do about 4 tablespoons on here. And I'm not montaing this sauce with any butter at the end to give an extra glisten. It's already a nice rich dish with the foie. I just trying to minimize the extra fat in here, so you can kind of concentrate on the foie gras as your staple fat, so to speak. And so there we have it. And now we're going to simply shave some truffles over the top. Put as many or as little as you like. Little dustings of the truffle fall off, that's fine. It's all adds to the allure of the plate. I like a generous amount of truffle, so I'm going to go ahead and let that fall all over. It's a great little accent as well. Great little garnish and visual sight. And maybe clean up the border a little bit, but other than that, it's a lovely looking dish. And I hope we've demystified tackling a high-end dish. It's a nice little composed dish right there. I really think that's a lovely dish. It's one of my favorite dishes of all time. And to go with it, actually, what I would recommend and what we're serving right now with this dish at our restaurant is a Chateau Filet from Madeira. It's an organic wine that's predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon with a little bit of Merlot and Cab Franc as well. This is a lovely, lovely wine. We really got turned on to this about a month ago, and it's going with this all the time now. But a nice Barolo that's a little more full-bodied would be great, or even a more full-bodied Burgundy would also be great if you didn't want to have a Burgundy, a Bordeaux. But this is a lovely dish, so shall we try it? And now the moment of truth, we let it rest a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and dive in. Lovely. Get everything in one bite. think it's the best combination of flavors of any steak dish I've ever had. I love the layering of the crouton, the meat, the foie, the richness, the unctuousness, and the combination of the flavors with the truffle and that Madeira truffle sauce. The Madeira veal sauce is just spectacular. Such a deep dish, and it's really lovely with a glass of red wine. I should have opened this. I'm wanting it right now. I'm in the middle of the workday. But this is just a lovely dish. I'm gonna have some of these truffles extra with the sauce. Wow, that is really, really nice. I would definitely recommend making this on a romantic stay-at-home date night. And so there you have it, Tournedos Rossini. I hope we demystified this dish for you, and I hope you try it. If you did like this recipe, please like us and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep doing these videos, and we would love to have your support. Again, this is Cooking with Keith, Tournedos Rossini. We hope you enjoyed this.